Hello and welcome once again to What Culture MMA. You are sitting here with two very tired individuals. We've been at WCPW tonight, we've done our UFC 202 recap, we've talked about Bellator, but we need to talk about the fact that Flow Combat is reporting that Rory MacDonald has signed a deal, dealed and delivered with Bellator MMA. Now, this is obviously a huge announcement because Rory MacDonald is, to me, he was one of the key players in the welterweight division. It just always, I felt it was, at one point, I felt it was going to be inevitable that he would one day become the champion. So I guess the reason we're probably bringing it up is, it's an obvious bit of news for the business, but also I just want to think about the reasons why someone like Rory MacDonald, someone in his position, would choose to switch to Bellator. Now, the details that Flow Combat are reporting is that an offer was made and the UFC declined to, they have a clause where they can match whatever's been offered, and they declined to do that. So that's interesting. That probably says that Bellator have probably made quite a sizable offer. Now I don't know if sponsorship can make its way into a deal like that, but that's obviously a big concern. One has to wonder if it's something to do with the Reebok deal. Who knows? But this is significant news, because, Rory MacDonald was so dominant in the welterweight division. Obviously, recently there was the fight with Robbie Lawler, which was, I believe that was the same night as the Conor McGregor-Chad Mendes fight.
It was indeed, yeah. It was the time, man.
I remember watching that in Iceland as well. But that was brutal. That was brutal, and that actually left me thinking, will he ever be the same after that?
Yeah.
That left me thinking that, and obviously losing the decision to Wonderboy Thompson, who's just been on an absolute tear.
Yeah, you can't blame him for losing that.
You can't take anything away from him there. It's just been a bit of an unfortunate period.
Yeah.
But Rory MacDonald's a scary dude. He's the protege of GSP, but also other news that was reported, which we should probably do a slash.
Yeah.
GSP says he's ready to return.
It was only a matter of time, really, wasn't it?
So are they related at all? Because maybe obviously every athlete wants to be a champion.
Yeah.
So is there that factor of that? He obviously feels that welterweight is division. Is there that thing where he's like, if George is here, he's my guy. I'm not, I don't want to step on his toes. Or are they completely unrelated?
Well, here's the thing though. It's interesting. I don't know if GSP will return to fight for a belt. I think after seeing what McGregor and Diaz can do without a belt, I think he thinks that he can come back and he could probably do the same thing. Whether he comes back and faces Nick Diaz for a second time, whether he comes back and maybe he does fight Tyron Woodley for the welterweight title. I don't know.
Or what about Michael Bisping if he goes on to beat Dan Henderson, which would why not?
Yeah, that's something that Michael Bisping has gone out and said. I want that fight, make that fight. I think Bisping's now at the stage as well where he's like, I'm not only am I the middleweight champion, but I'm going to make some serious money.
Yeah, good on him.
Yeah,
absolutely good on him. So, first of all, do you think they're related, or is it separate, just totally separate news?
I think it's totally separate. I think
separate news.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Rory MacDonald has gone into business for himself.
Yeah,
rightly so.
Yeah, it's like taking that abuse.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, you want to be getting paid extremely well for that. So if he's able to make, I don't know if that's the case, but if he is able to make more money there, then why not? Competition is good for the business.
Yeah.
There's lots of, it creates more options, more places for people to go, and it forces the organisations to compete with each other, and it stops this kind of monopolisation, and I just think it results in a fairer deal for everyone. So whilst it will be, for me personally, it'll be sad to see Rory MacDonald leave the UFC, because I wonder what he would have gone on to do. But at the same time,
especially with Lawler being beaten now as well.
Exactly.
If you replayed the Woodley MacDonald fight, I think MacDonald does take it. So they have fought, haven't they? Woodley and Yes. Yeah, MacDonald. Yeah. But if you to replay that fight, I think MacDonald comes out winning that fight. Yeah, he went into business for himself. He went into business, which is, like you said, you take a beating from Robbie Lawler, like the way he did. I mean, he took a beating, but it was a hell of a fight. It was a back and forth fight. But
it was, but just, we were talking about this earlier today, just in the Robbie Lawler fight, just when it was he tried to come back and he was like, oh hell no, hell no, and that's when you know.
There's that nasty shot. I don't know whether it was B-roll that the UFC shot, or whether it was just some videographer from a specific news outlet. I don't know, but it was this specific shot that caught MacDonald sit up after having his nose broken, and you can tell that he doesn't know where he is. Sits up for a second, looks around, and then lays back down again.
I don't like to see the bloody gory fights, to be honest. Like, I actually, when I was in Iceland, I was watching that with somebody who hadn't really watched MMA before, and she was like, "What the hell are you watching?"
Yeah.
And it was gruesome. So I personally, as a fan of Rory MacDonald, I hope that he goes on to dominate in Bellator, become the biggest star there,
and maybe. Sorry, I don't mean to cut
you
off.
No.
But maybe that's a serious part of his decision, was that he goes, if I'm going to be fighting in UFC, much longer, it means that maybe I'm going to be taking more punishment as I'm consistently against the best in the world. Maybe he's taking a kind of a holiday, a paid holiday.
If he's but then again, you see what happens a lot of the time for some reason, like with Benson Henderson, where you go, jump off the Bellator here, and then you get beat. So let's hope that doesn't happen to Rory. I think he needs a win. He needs a win, and hopefully he will get one. So basically, that was just our thoughts on Rory MacDonald switching over to Bellator, as reported by Flow Combat, and GSP saying that he's ready to come back. He believe the discussions are in motion, and it's now down to the UFC to present him with a viable option. So the future is looking bright for both Rory and his teammate GSP. And I suppose that would be a nice way to round off the evening for us. I've been Joe Hendry.
I've been Tom Ransom.
And thank you very much. We shall see you next time.